Okay, so let's get this started. A lot of stuff in the throat. And welcome back to Asia FM. I'm DJ Stephen Rong, and today I am extremely honored and just in disbelief, just because I have just been a huge fan of your music for such a long time, and never in a million years did I ever think I would ever have a chance to meet you in an interview. So please welcome the one and only Michael Bublé.
Thank you. That was a beautiful introduction. I appreciate that. It was very kind of you. Thank you. And it's so nice to get to meet with you too. It's a pleasure for me.
So I've been listening to your music nonstop, getting into the groove and just reminding myself of how I don't understand how somebody can be so sincere in singing these songs, these romantic songs. And then it just comes off so like sincere and believable to the point that it makes you smile as you listen to it. And that's like one of the first questions I want to ask you is when you're recording these songs, like how do you go into the studio, which is just like a room, it's like a cold room, and you have to like make these images appear in people's minds?
I promise you, I go into the studio, I turn off all the lights, and I take my phone and I put it on my music stand and I just look at that. And then I sing the songs and I try to sing them to my wife and my kids, and I try to make sure that I really focus on that so that whatever's coming out of my mouth is genuine, and I do my best.
Well, your best is definitely felt by everybody who listens to it. Like if you look at all the comments on social media, like everyone says the same thing. They're like, this is like such, well, let's talk about the song that you released recently. Sure. I'll Never Not Love You. So that song, all the comments below, everyone's like, when you listen to this, it's like you put yourself in a romantic comedy or like a romance movie, like instantly, like everybody is part of your story.
That's what I hope. You know, you hope when you write something, it'll move people. And I felt that the co-writer, his name is Michael Pollock, and he's a really great writer. And he's I think, you know, he's very in touch with his feelings. And I think that he has a really special way of connecting that way. And so it was so fun for me to get to write with him. I wrote, I think, 2 of the songs on this record, Mother and I'll Never Not Love You. And it was a complete joy to work with him, and really fresh for me, a fresh take on music and emotion.
So the reason why I asked is because when I was listening to I'll Never Not Love You, other than just smiling nonstop, I really did feel like a warmth. And then I was wondering if it had to do something with like where you are at right now in your life in terms of your family and how everything's going. Like it just instantly, I just had all these warmth like images. And I thought like, maybe this is like about his family. And that's why when you showed that picture, like that just makes it so like much more meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what, you know, and for me too, it was amazing to tell the story where I felt like it was a sequel to Haven't Met You Yet. And I felt here we are, you know, 14 years later, and I felt like this was a really wonderful, you know, long awaited sequel. And not just for me, it's always personal, but I love telling the stories of hope. And even in the saddest songs that I write, I love leaving the door open for that light that, you know, at the end of the tunnel, so that no matter how hurt you are, how down you are, there's always some hope. There's always some silver lining. And that's what this was. This was the hope that I could write something and present something that would give people a little hope. And I felt like we needed it with COVID and everything we've been through. It's like, give us
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. And the thing is, that reminds me of the song that you released around Valentine's Day, like a reinterpretation of Paul McCartney's song, My Valentine. So this song, when I was listening to it, it was a dreary day in Taipei, raining and just cold and gross. But I was still smiling listening to this song. And it just reminds me, this is so like appropriate for COVID, where a lot of couples are together and people are like hating each other, even though they love each other. But your song has like this magical thing where like, I feel like I have a weird imagination. Like I see like a couple, they like are mad at each other, but they listen to this song and they look at each other. They're like, there still is, you know, love there, you know, there's something there. And
I think you have a great imagination. And I sort of hope that people have an imagination. Like it's funny, when I was doing the song and finishing the song, my imagination took me to cinema. I love cinema. I love movies. And that's where the music video came. I thought, you know what if I journey and pay tribute to my wife and our favorite, romantic movies. And, it's funny when you talk about imagination. Do you know what the first thing I thought when I sang this song?
What?
I imagined young love. I imagined high school love, when, I was 15 and that first crush, the first kiss, and that kind of thing. And that's kind of what first was my first thought. And then as it started to move, and it was interesting because I talk about it and it was different for everyone. Everyone I played it for had their own imagination of what it was. And, but, there was something magic within the lyrics and the melody supporting each other.
Yeah, but like, the lyrics are, talking about how the sun is going to rise again. And like, they're going through troubled times. I think it's just like you seeing that with that in mind, like the young love. But even if they're like an old couple, they've been together many years, being reminded of that young love is, I think, what we feel through your voice and the way you.
And it was really helpful to me that Sir Paul McCartney was the producer, because he explained to me in depth how important that song was for him and how personal it was, and that he had written it for his wife. And it helped me to tell the story from that perspective.
How much was the communication between you and Paul McCartney about how the arrangement was going to be? Because it does feel like a 50s, 60s, like romance, timeless movie, like soundtrack.
Well, I mean, definitely so inspired by Paul and the song. My arranger and my partner, his name is Nicholas Jacobson Larson. We both, we spent a lot of time talking about, but really he was a genius. And when you finally do listen to this record, you will find that Nick is the through line through so much of this record. He wrote the arrangement for Higher. He wrote the arrangement for Crazy with Willie Nelson. He wrote the arrangement for Smile. He wrote the arrangement for the My Valentine. And do you know who John Williams is?
No, I'm not familiar.
Well, you do. You just don't know you do. John Williams is the American composer and arranger who wrote the theme song for Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Superman.
Okay. I should know him. You're right.
And that is and Nick, my partner, that is my musical director, was his protege, and really learned so much and brought all of this experience in this different sense of when I write music or I have an arrangement, it's very cinematic for me. I see it in a cinematic way. If you listen to Feeling Good or Cry Me a River, it's always these very cinematic, say James Bond-esque or these big epic, arrangements. And he and I are like simpatico. And so this record was so much fun because it was like, he kept saying like, am I allowed to make this crazy arrangement? It's like, yes, we can be as crazy
as you want.
Wait till you hear Smile. Like really, wait till you hear Smile. You're gonna lose your mind.
Well, if I'm already smiling listening to your other songs, I feel like it's definitely gonna work on me.
Thank you.
And I know you have a tour going on, and you have a lot of different locations. And I just need to ask, is it ever possible once this all crazy thing is over that you will be able to make a stop in Taiwan?
I have to. My wife wants me to.
Oh, yes.
We love it. Absolutely. We want to come.
Oh my gosh.
Sure.
Please let us know. Like,
I think I'm going to do I think I'm going to go for a couple of years, to be honest with you, because it's been a long time and I need to go around the world and to be in the backyard of people, because I think that's how you show them your appreciation. I think it's how you stay tangible. So I can't wait.
Well, we will definitely welcome you with huge open arms. Like we will be there at the airport to pick you up. And do you have a message you want to say to your listeners, your fans in Taiwan?
Yeah, you're my family away from my family. And you know what, as I went through this, I went through the struggles with my son, and we went through the pandemic. The reason I was able to do any of it, the reason I was able to stay home and be a stay-home dad was because of you. So my family loves you very much, and you're always in our prayers. And I promise, no matter what, the amount of joy you've brought my life, I could never bring you. So on behalf of my family, I thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this. And thank you for taking the time today and your really, really
Very
busy
sweet.
schedule.
I really appreciated it, man. I really
Thank
did.
you. And we're going to listen to your single, I'll Never Not Love You. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Michael Bublé.
Thank you. Dung, 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 ding, 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 ding. Thank you. Thanks, man.